Within ledger supply chain, there are two primary downtime calculation methods. You can do header downtime calculation or log level calculation, both of which really result in logs, but one will give the ability for a service request to go from down to limited to up back to down, whereas the header level methodology is going to just take the initial occurrence date time between the unit up date time and calculate the down hours from that for service requests where the initial unit status is down. So let's look at some examples of this where in this one we've set this up where went down, on March 12th and we came back up April 15th. So we should have a lot of downtime and a large age of this service request. And we can see that right now on the coverage calculation type, it's set to header. This is something that can be set by changing the default picklist value of this coverage calculation type, or admins or certain approved users can change this on the service request. I would generally recommend picking one calculation type and sticking with that calculation type as opposed to mixing and matching between header versus log level calculation type, but the system will allow you to mix and match if you so choose to. But in general, I would recommend picking one method as far as how we would calculate our downtime here. And we can see here this is header. So what this really means is that whenever we calculate our downtime, we're going to calculate in between 3:12 at 10 a.m. and 4:15 at 12 p.m. And this is displaying to me in my current user's time zone. And again, the initial unit status for this event was down, so this is going to calculate as a down event. And we can see that information right here where the initial unit status was down for this unit. And so now if I look at my service request logs, I can see we have this for our initial unit status where we are calculating that start time and stop time, which is a coverage hours applicable log for this method. And this is going to calculate our coverage hours calculations for our 24-hour clock and for our coverage hours clock. And again, that's going to come from our coverage hours, which is going to be inherited. In this case, we're going to look at our customer agreement line, which is inheriting from our customer coverage hours, which is defaulted from the customer agreement line. Now, if we were to change this to log, this is going to log and calculate service request logs for both any down or limited time. However, only downtime would actually calculate into a true uptime report. And we can see our down events here, and we can see the time between. So this was the actual changes of it was down, and then we switched it to limited, and then it went back to down, and we can see those changes here. And so this was actually the user changing the unit status field and us capturing the time at which that changed. Either method will work for calculating our downtime. If we go with the log methodology and there was a mistake or something was changed at the wrong time, an admin or approved user would have to go into these logs and change these start time and stop time fields for those calculations. However, whenever you select the header level methodology, if there's a change, the user just needs to change either the initial occurrence date time or the unit update time, and the logs will update accordingly. So I go back here and change this to header. And again, this will change which ones are considered applicable as far as how we're calculating for this service event. There's also a setting in the service request settings where you can prevent overlapping downtime, which is recommended, and so this will prevent multiple service requests from overlapping with downtime events on the same unit. And this is an overview of how our service request downtime calculation methodologies work, and these will of course relate and correspond to calculating our uptime reports. Thank you very much.